Alright, what's up guys? Happy Sunday. I've got the weekly watch list all ready for you. And we just sent out an update here to the Big 3 squeeze system. New indicator and new addition with our white dots here. When you get the white dot on the chart, we have everything on the checklist for the A+ squeeze. And that checklist, of course, comes from our labels here. If we are above the trailing stop, if we've got the momentum criteria, all the structure criteria, all the trend criteria, a squeeze, a buy signal, and a perfect score of 12, then we've got the A+ squeeze. So now we're at the point where you could actually take off the labels. The only things you got to focus on, the squeeze histogram, the white dots, and then two labels here in the top left-hand corner. Makes our jobs that much easier. We only think about taking a trade when we've got the white dots. In these last 23 trades I've taken, different stocks, different time frames, different strategies, etc., the one thing they all had in common, they all had that white dot for the A+ squeeze. 18 wins, 5 losses, 78% win rate, and my average win's about a little bit less than 2 times bigger than my average loss. And I'm putting up those kinds of numbers, doing the same thing over and over again. Basically as simple as I'm looking for my white dot. Good example from about a week ago, and in a really good setup. Netflix here, we had the white dots on the daily squeeze. At the same time, we had them here on the 2-hour squeeze. We had them down on the 1 hour. And then we actually had them on the 30-minute. So 4 different time frames, A+ squeeze. The score, the structure, the trend, momentum, all supportive of a beautiful push, and we got exactly that. So the update is live on the website. If you've got it on Thinkorswim, you can log in and download the new indicator. If you've got it on TradingView, they should send out the indicator automatically. And for the rest of you, we've got the masterclass coming up this Saturday, June 29th. You get all the indicators, you get the previous classes, and you get the new masterclass. I am live on June 29th, July 2nd, July 9th, and July 11th. Going through all the basics of the indicator, what's our structure criteria, what's our trend criteria, how can I find swing trades, how can I find day trades, and of course how to use the watchlist columns, and also the spreadsheet here. So you'll also get the spreadsheet. I'll put the link in the description for the class. Again, that's this coming Saturday. You get all the indicators, and for those of you with the indicators, my advice would still be consider taking the class. I'm not doing another one. But with all that being said, if we take a quick gander at the score sheet here, we're taking the Big 3 score from 5 different time frames, the weekly, daily, 4-hour, 1 hour, and the 30, getting a total score. The strongest total score would be a 60 out of 60. Going back 1, 2, 3 weeks ago, the SPX and the QQQ, they had the strongest score here for the indexes. They were the top 2. Early signs of rotation last week. Early signs last week, where now the RSP grades out as a 43, the Dow Jones gets second place at a 42, the S&Ps and the QQQ drop to 3rd and 4th place, and the IWM still kind of sucks wind with a -9. On the sectors here, XLC gets a 58, XLY gets a 54. You've got biotech, you've got XLP, and then the recent leadership, XLK and SMH, they dropped down to a 29 and a 26. For a few weeks there, they were 55 to 60, leading the board. Now, even if we're seeing a little rotation, there's not big problems here for the QQQ. From that point of view, nothing's really changed. We have the daily buy signal, we got a perfect score of 12, things are very bullish. But in the short term here, we had a big push, and yeah, we're a little bit overbought. In the short term, there might be room here for what I would think would be a buyable pullback. It might go sideways this week, it might explode, but I think potentially after a big push, might be time for the QQQ to take a little breather. And at some point, I think it makes up for a great entry. And same thing could be said here for SMH. All right, no huge issues, no big problems. It had one hell of a push, and ends up a little bit extended. And now you're getting a pullback potentially towards your 21 EMA. Again, I think at some point, we're buying tech and we're buying the semis. But for the week ahead here, maybe take a look at XLY, XLC, and XLP. They're shaping up pretty good. If we go check the watchlist radar here, and I jump over here to A+ setups, I've got healthcare, XLY, Microsoft, Amazon, Netflix, Google, XLP, Proctor Gamble, and Qualcomm. Now, as far as the sectors go, for healthcare here, we have the white dot squeeze on the 4-hour. We've got it on the 30-minute, and we got it on the 5-minute. This week, if they can fire that 4-hour squeeze to the upside, could be a good thing for the healthcare stocks. For XLY, we've got the white dot squeeze on the 1-hour. Good looking squeeze. And then our daily chart here, pretty bullish. Buy signal and a perfect score of 12. This week, if they can take that 1-hour squeeze, fire that to the upside, and get a good push going, that could benefit a name like Amazon, which we are long in the room right now. Amazon has a squeeze on the 4-hour, the 2-day, the 3-day, and the weekly, with the 4-hour and the weekly having the white dot. There's the 4, and there's your weekly. If XLY can catch a bid, that could benefit Amazon here. We've got a July expiration 200 call fly. The level to break this week, $1.90. If they can get it and keep it above that 190, then they can fire the 4-hour squeeze. They can potentially fire the 2-day squeeze and eventually fire that weekly squeeze, which I think can take price towards $200. Keep an eye on XLY and Amazon. And then for XLP here, we've got the white dot squeeze, the A+ setup on the 2-day time frame. If XLP can catch a little love this week, then I like Procter & Gamble, which we're also long. We bought some calls here on Friday. PG's got the A+ squeeze on the 2-day time frame, the daily, the 4-hour, and the 2-hour. It reminds me a little bit of Netflix from 2 weeks ago. The Procter and the Gamble. White dots on the 2-day squeeze. White dots on the daily squeeze. We've got them on the 4-hour, and we've got them here on the 2-hour. Trend, structure, momentum, trailing stop, squeeze, buy signal to score. All shaping up here in a bullish fashion. If they can take out the highs this week, I think that daily squeeze takes price towards 172, 173. So we're long Amazon, we are long Procter & Gamble. Keep an eye on XLY, keep an eye on XLP, and also keep an eye here on XLC, the communication sector. Daily chart gets a score of 12, and the weekly has got the A+ squeeze. If that fires, that could benefit a name like Google. And sure enough, we're also long Google. Google has the A+ squeeze on the 2-day time frame. This week, they got to take out that 180. If they can break it above 180, keep it above 180, then the 4-hour squeeze can fire, the daily squeeze can fire, the 2-day squeeze can fire, all of which I think takes Google here to $1.85. But they got to break that 180 first. The spot gamble call wall at 180. Google XLC, PG XLP, Amazon XLY. A few combos for you to watch for the week ahead. Aside from that, I like Netflix here. She was good to us last week out of that daily squeeze. And now we've got the call wall up around $700. In a good market, I think Netflix gets to 700. The way I would play for a push to 700 would be an A plus squeeze on a lower time frame. 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 2 hour. We bought it off the 2 hour squeeze last week. I like the pattern here. White dot squeeze, fires to the upside, pull back to your 2 hour 21, little back and forth, and a brand new A plus squeeze. If they can take out 690, there might be a path here towards the big 700. And then over here on Microsoft, I'd like to buy it on a pullback. I'm not too sure if I'm going to get that pullback. Daily chart gets a score of 12. And then the star of the show here would be the white dot weekly squeeze. A plus on the weekly, with a target of about 465. Now, selfishly, I'd like a little pullback here, and then I find my spot to buy some calls, do a few butterflies for a play off that weekly squeeze. If I don't get that pullback, my next best option, A plus squeeze on a lower time frame. We've got one on the 2, the 15 minute, and the 5 minute. If I get the pullback, I'll take it. If I don't get the pullback, I might take my position there in that 2 hour squeeze. And my last pick for you would be Qualcomm. Brand new A plus squeeze here on that daily time frame. Now, Qualcomm's going to move with SMH. Point being, if SMH has a little bit more room to go lower, maybe they come down and smooch that 21 EMA. A little French kiss at the 21. Qualcomm, Broadcom, AMAT, etc. They might also have room to go a little bit lower. I'm going to anchor to the SMH first. When the SMH here sets up for a buy, then I'll go back and take a look at Qualcomm. And if Qualcomm still has that daily squeeze, that might make for a nice trade. But that is it, folks. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Procter Gamble, Netflix, and Qualcomm. Keep an eye on XLY, keep an eye on XLC and XLP. And I am excited to see what this week brings. We've got 3 open trades in my room. We just kicked off the 25 trade challenge. And I'd like to take a few W's this week. Ideally 3 of them. But alright, y'all, happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. As always, thank you for watching. Again, if you have the indicator, the update for the white dot is live. If you don't have the indicator, I invite you to check out the masterclass, grab the tools, grab the previous classes, grab the brand new live training, take the system, and go start kicking some ass. Talk to y'all soon. Adios.